What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well, having a great Saturday. I told you I was going to come with energy, DJ. I told you before we started. We were just sort of chatting off the hours, being very low energy, and I went, just you wait. Just you wait. I'm going to start off. I'm going to fire right up. Yes.
And action.
Are you having a great Saturday? Yes. I am the true actor. Premier League games today and tomorrow, but no Manchester United games. United's next match is on Monday, on the Monday Night Football, with an Old Trafford showdown. I should probably do that when I say showdown, because it's just such a dead rubber, against Brentford, the final home game of the season for Manchester United in the 21-22 Premier League season. I mean, and to be honest, the stat is, by the way, guys, that we have to win our next 3 matches just to equal our worst ever Premier League season, just to equal it. So that speaks volumes, doesn't it? It really does. But nevertheless, there is still plenty of Manchester United news and stories to get into. I'm joined this Saturday lunchtime by DJ and Faz. Hope you're doing well, guys. Thanks for joining me. You both doing all right?
I'm good.
I'm in celebration mode. Matt Judge is gone. We're here in the studio partying all last night.
I didn't see that. I saw that on Twitter. I saw the celebrations. All I would say is cautious optimism, heavy emphasis on the cautious, because you never know. You never know.
For sure.
But be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Super chats and super stickers are also available. Just click the $sign. And a little bit of an addition today, a bit of history here at 12 p.m. on a Saturday. For the first time ever, super thanks are also available to those who are not watching live with us right now. So if you're not familiar, basically, a super thank is essentially a super chat for those who are not live. So if you're watching us after we're live, you can still contribute and support the channel and make your voice heard, more importantly, by submitting a super thanks. Just click the thanks button and have your comments stand out. So let's talk about the Manchester United rebuild, folks, because this Manchester United rebuild continues. David Ornstein from The Athletic never, ever, ever misses. Reported yesterday that Matt Judge has resigned from his position as Director of Football Negotiations. He is not expected to play an active role in the summer transfer window. If you're not familiar, Judge was responsible for negotiating transfers and contracts for Manchester United and had been involved in United's transfer business since the summer of 2014. Now, United are currently undergoing a backroom shuffle due to John Murtough, the football director at the club. He has now got full control over the football operations and has driven some of the changes. I'll start with you, DJ. What are your thoughts on it all?
Hey, look, first of all, David Ornstein is like a sniper. Doesn't miss. Literally on target every single time. Never misses. Nearly 100% rate, success rate. In terms of kind of this rebuild, backroom staff moving on. I was ecstatic about it. It literally popped up out of nowhere yesterday. I messaged Flex straight away. I said, "Is this true?" Flex confirmed. He said, "It looks like it's true." And then, the media wave then came shortly after. And I think it's a step in the right direction. Honestly, it's a step in the right direction. It's something that we've wanted for a long time. Footballing people making footballing decisions. And Murtough's come in and he's kind of ripped it up and said, "Hey, look, we are Manchester United and we're going to try at least and get things right, not just on the pitch but off the pitch also." So great news all round. However, Owen, I'm on your side here when you said cautious optimism. I am definitely one of those people. I'm not getting carried away just yet. I want to see who they employ in that role, and what power is given to these individuals first. So until that's sorted, then I can fully just relax and be like, "Great job, Manchester United." But the signs are there. It's positive.
Exactly. We have been hurt before, folks. Okay.
We're traumatized.
All us once. Exactly. First super chat of the day is from Sandro. Says, when will people give props to Murtough? He changed a lot of things at academy level, not spoken enough, and changing things at senior level. Judge out. We are going to talk about John Murtough shortly. But Faz, what was your reaction to the news yesterday?
Slight bit of surprise, but in terms of surprise, still Glazers are in control of the club. And I said this numerous times before, I don't actually trust Arnold and John just yet. But like you said, it's step towards the right direction, but we still got to be like, whoa, okay, you guys still haven't delivered anything yet. I mean, you guys are just making small movements, so we'll just see it through. But I'm happy that anything and everything around Woodward is getting dissected and thrown away or removed from the club. to bring in new football decision making people. So that's definitely I'm very excited for. It just makes me, I can't lie, it gives me a bit Marcelish for next season. If that's the word. But yeah, that's my mind frame right now.
That's going to be in the dictionary, Marcelish.
Yeah,
overly
Marcelish.
optimistic. That's what it's going to be. He was trying to explain to me the other day the difference between positivity and optimism, and he was explaining to me that they are cousins.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which I thought was tremendous. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Look, when I saw it yesterday, I got the news. Actually, Flex sent it to me, and I was like everyone, went great because, and we'll talk about his legacy in a second, Matt Judge, but he's been the head of football negotiations, whatever his title is, since 2014. So nearly a decade at this point. And how many transfers has he been, responsible in negotiating that just have not worked? Way too many. And you compare it the way I compare it is Manchester United and Liverpool. Liverpool's transfer business, they don't miss. Every single transfer they have done has improved their club and improved their side. On the other side, Manchester United, every transfer they have done has essentially, maybe bar Bruno Fernandes, has essentially been a failure, right? And those two things, they're not coincidences. You don't get everything right by accident. You don't get everything wrong by accident, right? There's structure in place and there are reasons behind that. So when I saw that yesterday, I went, great. But as I said, there is a heavy emphasis on cautious optimism for me, because I look at it as, that's great. That's a guy that wasn't doing his job well enough or properly, but who's going to replace him? Because if we go like for like, we're in the exact same position. Same with the scouting department. If we go like for like, we're going to be in the same position. So I want to see some proof in that pudding first, and then maybe I'll give them their flowers later on. But DJ, what is Matt Judge's legacy? So he's been doing this since 2014. What is his legacy? What's his best transfer? What's his worst?
Oh, his best? It will probably be like Bruno, I suppose. And anything before that, it's literally just, a bunch of players on the decline, a bunch of players that probably didn't want to be at the club, but you're offering them high wages, a bunch of players that came in for inflated, value. And a bunch of players that actually haven't lived up to expectations, and also a bunch of players that could be considered marquee signings all the way round. But then you have, players where, I don't know, I think we may have tried to change it around the Dan James transfer. We tried to, maybe go for young British talent that have something to prove, hungry. However, he just wasn't the type of quality we needed.
But we made a profit on him. So you'll take it, right?
We'll take it.
You look at that one, you would say, but the fact that he's our fourth, most expensive, selling player ever is madness.
Yeah, and it's mad. And, in terms of the deals we're offering these players that came in, just terrible, just terrible business. I'm not a business person, but even I can see that's just terrible business in some of the decisions that were made. Quite comical, actually. And to be honest, I think it's had a lot of the teams around Europe just laughing at us. I think his legacy is not necessarily good at all. If I was to rate it out of 10, definitely like a 3 out of 10 for me. That's about it.
Interesting. Faz, what do you think Matt Judge's legacy is at Manchester United? Best signing, worst signing?
Matt Judge's legacy is Mr. Maguire. That has to be the worst signing. And then after that, it will probably be Alexis Sanchez. Best signing, and I just have to give him some credit for, maybe it's because Jadon Sancho, Ronaldo, Varane, a couple of good signings for us, brilliant signings.
But you could argue they were layups, were they not? They weren't difficult deals to do.
Yeah. I mean, how much of his involvement was actually in it, at this stage, I don't know. But in terms of worst signings, yeah, those two possibly. But more than the signings, the contracts. That's what I have more issue with, is the contracts and the years on the contracts that this man has dished out. 3 years to this person, 3 years to Pereira, Phil Jones, this, that, the other, daft amount of money, letting agents just get away with whatever figures they want. Yeah, I'm really glad that he's gone, and hoping someone will now bring some sort of proper structure to our contract negotiations.
DJ, does John Murtough deserve a bit of credit here? I saw a lot of people on social media going, see, it's all Ralph. Ralph's been driving this, Ralph's been doing this and doing that. And I think it's kind of a two-pronged approach here. I think you do have to credit Ralph Rangnick for exposing elements of Manchester United that needed to be exposed in the media, through his press conferences, through his interviews. But we know that in terms of the day-to-day operations and restructuring the club, we know Rangnick doesn't really have that any influence, let's be honest, in terms of those big decisions at Manchester United. So does John Murtough deserve some credit here because he hired Rangnick, who is, shining a light on these dark areas of the club? He hired Eric Ten Hag. He's overhauling the scouting department. Chief scout's gone. Head of global scouting's gone. He's now overhauling transfer negotiations. Matt Judge is gone. Does John Murtough deserve a bit of credit here?
He definitely does. I've met a lot of fans that don't want to give him praise, but look, it was going to take someone in the background to, open their mouth and say something, because for too long, Manchester United have been underachieving on and off on the pitch. So I'm glad that he came out and he's basically trying to do something different, and different is the right way in terms of bringing in the footballing people. I think the bankers have had control of this club for too long. And it's about time that we actually get, footballing people making footballing decisions. And we can say Ralph was the sort of the catalyst for that. I remember at the time when Ralph came in, we was all thinking, wait, hold on, United's actually making sense. We're doing footballing decisions. We're getting someone that knows the game. We're getting someone that knows how to run a club from behind the scenes. I think that was the first piece of evidence to say that things are going in the right direction. And then there's sort of overhaul with the academy and all of this stuff that we've seen great young prospects now coming through, trying to get into the first team. It bodes well for the future. And I think, with the appointment of Ten Hag, Ten Hag, there's a lot of people wasn't unsure of Ten Hag, but he comes with a clear philosophy, comes with a clear style, and a clear formula for putting teams together. That was a smart decision. And now getting rid of Judge is an even smarter decision, because the business we've done, as we've just said, boys, is terrible. So, and that's him signing off on this. So I have to give him credit where credit's due. And one thing from me in terms of, the deals and the type of players we were getting, I'm tired of doing agent deals, because that's how Matt Judge was sort of cutting corners. He'd do agent deals. So he'd know people's agents and get players in because he knew their agents. That's fine as long as that player fits a profile which the manager wants and what's going to fit the team, not just in namesake. So he'd just be like, oh yeah, Donny van de Beek. Yeah, we got relationships there. We can get him. Ollie, fit him in wherever you can. It doesn't work like that. So
layups.
Yeah, exactly. So Murtough, for me, he does deserve praise, guys. Please, he does, because without him, if Woodward was still there, we'd still be in the same position, I believe. So a lot of empty promises and nothing delivered. So yeah, big up to Murtough, man.
Do you think Murtough deserves some credit, Faz?
Not yet. Straightforward. I just don't think yet. He is been put in that position to do a job. He knew what he had to do in terms of taking the club forward, and right now he's made a couple of good decisions, couple of really, really good decisions. Well done to him. But now we still have to fill those positions. Now we still have to go and implement a new structure into the club. We still have to see results. I'm not being negative, but what I am saying is I'm being cautious before I start praising. We have this thing, in Manchester United, we praise players, we highlight their achievements, whatever, too quick, create this pressure or whatever on them. I'm just taking it easy. Like I said, let this man do his job. I'm going to see it through half a season at least and see how things are being implemented, and then for sure I'll be the one screaming and shouting his name and singing his name for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree there, Faz. I think that John Murtough certainly deserves some credit for spearheading these corporate changes. And look, that's not easy to do. These are big names at the club that are no longer there, and they have been in positions that they're very comfortable in for a really long time. So to sort of force that change, you have to get approval from above, which is Richard Arnold basically saying to him, look, fix it all, fix it, because it's broken at the moment. So I do think Murtough deserves some credit there. For me, the key to Matt Judge, Jim Lawler, Marcel Bout's departure from their respective positions is their replacements, as we spoke about before. If we go like for like in those positions, we will be in the exact same position as we are right now, which is not a good position to be in. If we go best in class, which should be the case with Manchester United, it might be more difficult to attract players when you're not in Champions League football, but in these sort of more corporate director positions or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Manchester United means something in those kind of positions. Being able to be the one responsible to have power at a club like Manchester United and build something at Manchester United is a very attractive role. And also to be working for a club that is undergoing some kind of structural change. If you're a savvy kind of person that's involved in football negotiations, wherever, you could go, I tell you what, I could get a job there and I can make a great reputation for myself if I'm successful in that role. So I do think that, again, there's room for cautious optimism. I think that Murtough deserves some credit. The key to it will be, we've got one half of the equation right now. The other half is the replacements. If he gets the right replacements, then you can really start saying, okay, Murtough, you're putting yourself a pretty big legacy here, because you could be indirectly responsible for building us back up. When it comes to replacements for these roles as well, it's reported by The Telegraph that Manchester United are expected to appoint a replacement for Matt Judge soon, as well as a deputy football director. So Judge is gone, Lawler's gone, Bout's gone. Is that a void to be filled by Paul Mitchell, you reckon, DJ?
I hope so. I do hope so. And I think, you know, a lot of these roles, there's a lot of crossover with them. A lot of crossover. And I think sometimes, you know, even like Darren Fletcher as a technical director, I don't know what that means. I'm still struggling to figure out what his day-to-day job is. Like, we don't know. So literally, I don't know. So hopefully, you know, if Paul Mitchell does come in, he has a defined role. He knows his lane. Everyone should have their lanes. And the lanes only converge when it's sharing information. Otherwise than that, no one should be getting involved with anyone else's lane, you know? So I hope it is a Paul Mitchell-sized hole for him to fill. I'm not sure what position exactly he would do, because I understand he's more around recruitment. I don't think he was necessarily a negotiator, but in terms of identifying players, maybe the scouting, maybe that's where he'll go. I'm not too sure, but we need someone like him. I know he's not the be-all and end-all. I know there's others, but he is someone that is connected to the club through Ralph. Apparently, he's a Manchester United supporter as well. So it's kind of a no-brainer. You go get that guy.
Super sticker from David Lee. Appreciate the contribution. Yeah, it's an interesting one with Paul Mitchell, isn't it? Because there certainly does seem smoke to that fire. Like you said, what his role would be. Some people have said head of recruitment. It's always fascinated me with Matt Judge, because there's a guy that had no footballing experience negotiating transfers. That's crazy. It's one thing to be negotiating business deals. That's completely different to negotiating football transfers. The intricacies, it's the devil in the detail, if you will, that really gets business transfer deals rather done. And I remember seeing interviews of, I think it was Patrice Evra, saying that I've got sporting directors telling me Matt Judge to turn on his phone and all that kind of stuff, right? And again, we laugh, but it's embarrassing. So I do look at someone like Paul Mitchell and I say, yeah, that'll be great. It was interesting, Faz, that Ralph Rangnick this week said he's obviously had some kind of a conversation about what his consultancy role looks like at Manchester United. And he said, it's going to be based on recruitment. I want to find the next Erling Haaland. So this overhaul of this recruitment sort of structure at Manchester United, are Ralph and Paul Mitchell, do you think they're going to be directly involved in that?
Yeah, I'm really happy with now that I have some clarity into Ralph's role going forward within the club, because like we discussed before, we're not actually sure what this consultancy role will entail. But now that he's clarified that it will be more recruitment based, again, I'm feeling very Marcelish. This man, we're letting him do what he's capable of doing, what he has done and proven, year in, year out. But the only issue that I have is this 6 day a month or something, and him doing the Austria job alongside. I would really have liked him to be in a permanent full-time position. You know, in all honesty, the simple reason why, more than his ability, which I respect so much, is his honesty. He has been so honest and open. He's been a breath of fresh air in this club. And honestly, I want every single Man United fan to really be appreciative and thankful of this man, what he has given us, you know, from a PR media perspective, what he has given us on the screen. German people, they're very cutthroat anyways. They're very straight to the point, straightforward people. And for him to do that in Manchester United takes big balls. So he deserves a lot of credit. And I would have loved him to stay in a full-time position, maybe wishful thinking. Maybe it can happen in the future. But he's obviously taken the Austria job. But Paul Mitchell and having Ralph in there together, working hand in hand, I'm very, very much excited, hoping they can really bring the future superstars, not just go and get the big boy names. And yeah.
What do you think of the DJ, the Rangnick taking the Austria job? I mean, it kind of came, I don't want to say actually it came out of nowhere, because there was a thing like a month ago, like Ralph Rangnick has spoken to the Austrian FA, and then they were like, no, he hasn't. And then a month later, he's the new manager. So he obviously did.
He did, yeah.
Which just goes to show, guys, that when you look at things on social media, don't believe everything you read. Or, again, as we say so many times, it's somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle that truth lays. What did you think of that, him taking that job?
I was a bit disappointed. I think kind of what Faz's saying, he is somebody that I've actually grown to admire even more. I respect him 100%. Like, he's the first guy that's come in and not tried to hide or sugarcoat things. He tells it exactly as it is. And I think, I was saying off air, I think he is somebody that, we can attribute everything to Murtough, but he's the one that is out here in the public eye, literally, I wouldn't say fully wide exposing everything, but he's shedding a light on it. Some of the tough conversations that Ollie wouldn't want to have. Rangnick is having those conversations. Game after game, he's sitting at press conferences asking the really gritty questions that need to be asked by people that are watching Manchester United from the outside, and he's asking. So for me, I would have loved to have him in a more permanent capacity within the club. I think his experience is invaluable. The man has got a wealth of experience coming from the German football side of things, but he knows football. He knows how clubs are run. And I think if that is a resource that you have as a club, you'd want to try and get as much from that 6 days a month kind of thing. Yeah. I don't even know what that looks like. What he comes to Old Trafford, or he goes to the offices, or he goes in meetings all day with the United hierarchy. I don't know what that even means. But
some teams.
Yeah, it goes on Microsoft Teams and just speaks to Ten Hag or whatever. But I think unless you are physically there in the ground, in amongst the energy and the vibe of what's going on, you can't really contribute. I think the first sort of report per se is going to be very important in terms of that will lay the foundation to who needs to go, what this club's about, what the ethos is about, and then it's up to Ten Hag and his team to try and change that. But aside from that, what else is Rangnick going to offer when he's the Austrian manager? Because that's a full-time job in itself. So I don't know how effective. My point is, how effective is he going to be?
It is an interesting one, isn't it? Because so Rangnick has signed a 2-year contract with Austria. It's going to be automatically extended by a further 2 years should they qualify for the 2024 European Championship, which is going to actually be in Germany as well, his native country. To me, you don't take an international job along with having your consultancy role. You don't take that job if the club are keen to have you more. You know what I mean? I get the impression it's kind of a situation. And we heard this, again, sometimes when Ralph speaks, he can be very direct. Sometimes he can kind of talk in code and you have to kind of dissect it a little bit. To me, in the last couple of weeks, I got the impression of him saying, look, if they want my opinion, I'll give it to them. If they want me to help, I'll give it to them, and all that kind of stuff. I get the impression this conversation about this consultancy role finally happened, because every time he was asked about it in the past, it was, we're going to discuss it at the end of the season. We'll discuss it at the end of the season. We'll figure out what it is. I feel like this discussion did finally happen, and it was confirmed. Yep, it's going to be about 6 days a month. We just want your opinion. Occasionally, we might, check in every couple of weeks. We'll ask your opinion on players. We'll send you a dossier on a player, and then you can give us your opinion, all that kind of stuff. And then he went, okay, well, I've got a lot of time on my hands then, so I can be the manager of an international side, which, like you said, DJ, is a full-time job, but obviously there are periods of time where you're not doing much apart from watching matches and putting together your preparations for friendlies, qualifiers, or tournaments. So I get the impression, like I said, you don't take that job if you're going to be heavily featured in a recruitment department. He is going to be exactly what it says on the tin. He's going to be a consultant. And that's why recently when people, we've been having these discussions here on the channel, when people have been saying, yeah, Ralph's going to be doing this, this, and this next season. I'm like, there is no evidence to prove that. That's right. This is kind of the evidence that is the case. And it's not to say that he won't be effective next season. He can absolutely still be effective. He can still say, I tell you what, I was doing some international scouting the other day because I was watching this game, because he's traveling around the world watching Austrian players play in various leagues. He can say, tell you what, I was at this match the other day watching an Austrian player, and the player I saw was so good. You've got to sign him. You've got to sign this player. You've got to take a look at him. That could be very valuable. But I'm with you. I also look at it as I felt that there maybe could have been more there that we could have utilized him for, but it doesn't look to be the case, which is somewhat disappointing. But again, if we do get in a Paul Mitchell and we do get in an overhauled recruitment department, I'm willing to accept that. But proof is in the pudding. Chief Executive Richard Arnold, Faz, who replaced Ed Woodward, has given John Murtough greater autonomy over football matters than he had previously under Woodward. This again comes from the Telegraph. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I think like everyone, I think we're quite reluctant to give any kind of praise to Richard Arnold, considering he's been there a while. He's another banker. He's still under the Glazer ownership, right? But is there at least some little bit of praise in that? Well, at least he's willing to say he's not like an egomaniac like Ed Woodward who says, I know it all, so I can do it all. He's basically like, look, I'm a banker. I know business. I don't know football. I'm going to get some football people to do it for me. Is that at least a good thing?
The only good thing I would say is he obviously he said that he wants to delegate. He wants to let people do their jobs. He wants to let football people make football decisions. And like you said before, he's probably gone and told John, fix this. What do you need me to sign off? I'm putting full faith in you. They've probably had a big, long conversation, and Richard's probably thought, okay, this is the right path, and I'll sign off on anyone you want to get rid of and anyone that we want to bring in. Praise, no, I'm not giving no one no praise just yet. I'm not. It's too quick, too early. We've not even finished this season. We've not even brought Ten Hag in, not even had a preseason, not even brought the first transfer in. Not giving no one no praise. You got to, in Faz's books, you have to do a lot more to be getting any sort of praise. Yeah, my praise is worth a lot. So I'm not dishing it out that easy.
Rule 1 in the Book of Faz, you've got to earn it. You've got to earn the praise, okay? The Book of Faz is real. Super chat from Red Baron says, let's not get too excited, guys. We still got the Glazers in charge. We may just replace incompetence with incompetence. And again, that's where it's the half of the equation is complete, but not the full equation yet. So we'll have to wait and see. I do want to talk about Rangnick versus the players, though. This is quite an interesting story. So this comes from Andy Mitton, who says that after the defeat against Arsenal last weekend, Rangnick has said little to his players in the dressing room. They were supposed to be training on Friday after the Chelsea game, but Rangnick cancelled the session on Thursday and called a day off. And now this continues. Some players felt the preparation for the Atletico game was poor, with a lack of work on the shape ahead of a difficult match. Halftime in one recent game, a Manchester United coach said to the players that they were giving the pundits every reason to criticise them. DJ, what do you think about that? So basically, we were meant to have training after the Chelsea game. Rangnick went, no, cancel it. Didn't say anything to the players after the Arsenal game. And some of the coaches in recent games at halftime have been like, everyone's criticising you and deservedly so. You're terrible. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it sounds like it's getting pretty toxic in there. I don't blame Ralph. You know, he's come in, he's tried. He's actually tried. He's held up his end of the bargain and said, I'm going to try and get them into some form of structure, some form of shape, playing a certain way. The players threw it back in his face. So I do not blame him for, you know, maybe sort of like trying to step away now from the players. In a way, it is kind of him maybe down in tools because, you know, the club's not looking to have him in a permanent capacity. He's going to be sort of like a phone a friend role. And these players, big professionals, some of them got big names, they're just taking the piss. So why not? Like his time could be better utilized away from these guys. And at the end of the day, he's right. The coach, whoever the coach was right. You know, the pundits have every right to criticize these players because a lot of them aren't playing for the badge. A lot of them have down tools. A lot of them have mentally checked out and physically checked out. You know, Cavani being one of those guys. Like where he's been, I can't even remember the last time he played. Yeah, and so if Ralph is dealing with a lot of professionals that are doing all these sort of underhand tactics and not acting professional, the man's going to come to his limit. So I guess it is going to be the staff versus the players, and I don't blame him.
Do you agree with that, Faz? Do you think with Rangnick cancelling the training sessions after the Chelsea game, not saying much after the Arsenal game, do you think that's a case of him going, look, you can't be bothered, so why should I be bothered?
He's probably given an in-depth report to Ten Hag already saying, yeah, there's about 5 of these lot that are just deadwood viruses. You just need to like get rid of them. you need to amputate them out of the team. Like literally need to.
Well, he said open heart surgery, didn't he?
Yeah, open heart surgery. So he knows himself. He said it how long ago that let's be realistic about top four. Let's be realistic about set things. And Manchester United, they could sugarcoat it all they want. I'm seeing pictures and videos of players all happy and diddly in training sessions. But we all know the situation behind the scenes. More than anything, though, the sheer leakage of information from my dressing room is absolutely horrendous. I have never seen. It's like everybody knows our business. What goes on behind? Everybody knows everything about Manchester United, and as much as we're in a bad situation, a bad place, a dark place. This is unacceptable. Like someone needs to get a hold of this. Whichever player, whoever the leak is, I don't know, player or coaching staff, whoever, this needs to stop. Like Ten Hag needs to come in and stop this. This leakage of information is embarrassing from an organization perspective. In terms of Ralph, he's going into a 6-day a month role. I mean, what do you expect from him? Mathematically, whatever, it's not even possible to gain anything, So why should he even bother? He's put all his efforts into the players, and they've clearly not listened to him. He tried to do the Gengen press in the start when he came in. They didn't implement it properly. He then went back and now all trophies or any domestic cup runs are gone. Top four's gone. Yeah, he's just seeing out the season. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I just look at it as it reeks of Ralph just going, what's the point? What is the point with you guys? You can't be bothered. So why would I waste my time and effort with you? What's there to say? Like after the Arsenal game, when that was definitely, I mean, top four wasn't on anyway, but that was definitely last chance saloon over. And after the game on Thursday, with some of those players, people like Marcus Rashford just walking around in that first half, not doing anything. What is there to say? And also as well, he's not even going to be in a role in a couple of weeks' time. So he could go in there and scream and shout and, F and Jeff at them and all this kind of stuff. But what's there to say? They don't care at this point. So if it was me, I'd probably be the same. We got training tomorrow. Whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of you are injured anyway, so you're not showing up. So why bother? And I really do think that that's the case. And when I see stuff like, again, it's constant excuses, isn't it? Some of the players felt the preparation for the Atletico game was poor. Okay, but you still, if you watch, say, the first half against Atletico away, the shape was off, but also you still have some professional pride. Still try. I didn't like the training, so you know what? Let's just lose. It doesn't work like that. Whereas you're a professional footballer. Yeah. Emphasis on professional. Have some pride. Try and win something. Win a match. And again, I don't like to bring wages into it, but you're very well paid for what you're doing. Oh, it's not. I wasn't sure about the preparation. Who cares? Yeah. When the fans show up there, they don't give a shit about preparation. They care about what's happening then and there. They care about the result.
And the thing is as well, Owen. Yeah, sorry. The thing is as well. Like even at when Fergie was in charge, there was stuff that was going on the training ground. Fergie would be upset with certain players, not really be speaking to them for a couple of games. There was even players that didn't really speak to each other that had fallings out. But at the end of the day, when the games came, they played as a team and they put their effort in for Manchester United. There's something seriously wrong with our first 11, with our club. We have fallen so far, and I might be just, saying the same thing that we've been saying for the last couple of years. But it's so true when you look at the level of standards. Like, imagine, Owen, we're on United View. For what anybody knows, me and you might not even really like each other. But we're on here, we're being professional, and no one needs to know. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just saying. I never know. In the studio last week, it was very tense.
I just want to add to this as well and say, if Ralph has seen, the lack of effort from the players, I'm not complaining or saying whatever, but I'm just saying he should have implemented a few more players from the youth academy early on. Like, this would have been the perfect time. I just don't know why. Absolutely do not understand why Fernandez, Garnacho, Hannibal, Shoretire, these players aren't getting minutes going forward. I'm hoping we had 3 under 23 players on the bench in the Chelsea game. They're clearly making the numbers up for the squad. So why are you not letting them have a run around? Okay, yes, we got that 1 point because of the senior players in the squad, and yeah, brilliant. But I would have liked to see them earlier on in the season. I think they would have, I'm not saying necessarily win us games, but they would have, as fans, as traveling fans, we travel all the time, take time out of our day. We would have seen a lot more passion and effort on the pitch. And me personally, if you ask me, when I knew logically and mathematically, to me, when top four was gone, I would have actually appreciated that, because I personally go and watch the under 23s week in, week out whenever they're in Old Trafford. So I would have appreciated that, and I'm sure many other fans would too.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, it's also funny about, they talk about preparation for the game. I've said this so many times this season. When we have like 2 weeks and they'll go 2 weeks on the training pitch, we're going to see a different Man United. No, we're not. They're like, how many times have we heard we trained great this week?
Yeah.
And it's the same. So the fact that, he took a day off training, who cares?
The training pictures that get released all over social media looks like they're enjoying training, that they're having a world of a time. So
winning team.
Yeah, exactly. So all of that, like, I think it's just, trying to cover their own arse, trying to, shift the blame. But Ralph's coming out and he's basically saying, look, it ain't me, it's the players, straight up.
I cannot wait. Sorry, I cannot wait till Ten Hag comes in and tells these players, I have been watching you. Oh my God, I cannot come in and use the hairdryer effect and discipline some of these players.
Did you see Faz grit his teeth there?
That
was fierce.
I cannot wait. Knee injury, calf injury, whatever injury you have, I'm going to squeeze it out of you. I cannot wait.
We've all seen the clip of him shouting at Noah Lang. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing stuff. Holding players accountable there and then. I loved it. I watch it over and over again.
Yeah, me too. I can goosebumps. Red Baron says, do you think if Martial and Rashford switched roles, do you think Martial would have got abuse at the home stadium? Be honest. I think it's difficult to say, Red Baron, because I think both players have, to be honest. Rashford's received abuse on and off the pitch, and not that it's a competition, because it's not. It's a bit of a weird thing to compare. But Martial, when his final home game, was he getting booed off the pitch as well? I think there were videos of that too. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think people look maybe a bit too much into that one, but the criticism for both players are valid. People, as always, overstep the mark, but I think the criticisms are valid for both of them. This is interesting as well from Andy Mitten too, is that Ralph Rangnick didn't count on losing 3 coaches within weeks of his arrival in Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna, and Martin Pert, and the replacements, here we go, have not impressed the players, no matter how hard those coaches have tried. DJ, again. How many times this season have we heard the story? The players don't like the manager. The players don't like the coaches. The players don't like training.
Heard it time and time again. So players, I have notice for you. I have a message for you. We don't like you. Yeah, we don't like you. We do not like you guys, right? You're probably the most bunch of unlikable guys as a collective I have ever seen in Manchester United. And we've had like players that haven't, set the world, like, the Obertans and the Bebes. We've had a couple of duds, Jemba, Kleberson. We've had players over the past, but
Manuccio.
Oh my, and you know what? I could go into a story about him. That's funny. But anyway, we don't like you players, yeah? So you can say you don't like the training ground, you don't like this training session, you didn't like the preparation for that. All I'm hearing is it's not us as the players. It's definitely you guys. The PR spin, I don't even know if it's PR spin. It's probably Jesse Lingard, who I heard is the leak. I'll say it. I heard Jesse Lingard's the leak. I heard it's him telling Paul Scholes everything, and Paul Scholes let it slip. I don't know, like flipping.
You won't mind me saying, and then did I think a couple of days later, he did mind me saying.
Yeah. Like, come on. Like, Jesus Christ.
As soon as he said that, Paul Scholes, went, I'm sure he won't mind me saying. Everyone watching it went, he
definitely minds you saying that.
Yeah. He definitely will.
Exactly. Like, the players are just not taking accountability, and they can go on social media and say, "Oh yeah, we played so bad. We need to prove." Yeah, we've heard it all. We've heard it all before. Literally, there's a song called that. Heard it all before. We've heard it all before. I'm tired of it. And as fans, we shouldn't even accept that no more. We're not going to accept that.
harmony there, DJ. That was tremendous.
It was good, wasn't it?
Who knew? Who knew DJ had a bit of a voice to him? Faz, what do you think of that? Hearing that story again? The players don't like the coaches. Players don't like trading. What do you make of that?
I'm going to give a bit of a perspective here. I'm not backing the players at all, but when, as an individual, you're in an organization where everything's going downhill, the manager that used to babysit you has now left. You're not getting baby fed every day. You're not getting the arm around the shoulder, and all of a sudden, there's fingers being pointed at you. Dressing rooms falling apart. People are filling your heads with things. Social media. You're automatically going to go on a decline. You're automatically going to start, questioning things. With that being said, though, when you're a young individual or a player in Manchester United or a player in a professional environment, let's just put it that way, you are there to do a job. Your job is to listen to your managers. Your job is not to question your manager's ability. Doesn't matter if the manager is, in your opinion, the worst, whatever. We all, have worked in environments where we've had managers and think, I could do a better job than you. But it doesn't matter. You're in a professional environment and you still have that respect for the hierarchy. These players, the fact that they're even questioning their manager, you need to either leave or someone needs to come in and put you in your place. How dare you even question anyone? Doesn't matter if it was Ole's tactics, Carrick, Ralph, assistant coach, this, that, the other. There has to be a level of respect. And I think that respect that we had in the Ferguson era has fully just gone out the club. Fully and truly gone out the club. This is one of the key things that Ten Hag needs to come and implement, is the level of respect towards coaching staff, the level of respect towards the club, respect for yourselves. These type of things about not believing in the CV. Or I've even seen articles of some of the players are not maybe 100% on Ten Hag's CV. Who are you to question anyone?
And Faz, Ten Hag said it to that Noah Lang as well. If you remember the quote, he's like, he goes, you need to shut up and just do it. Need to shut up and just do it. And that's what players need to do. They need to shut up.
It's not your game, it's our game.
That's exactly. And that's the energy we're here for.
And the board need to be right behind Ten Hag. Everybody, except for the players on that side, need to be right behind Ten Hag like this. It's like trying to discipline a naughty kid or trying to teach your dog how to sit. Sometimes, as cute as the puppy is, you need to be a little bit disciplined. You need to show them that you're the boss, and then they start listening to you. So I think that's what Ten Hag needs to do. But for players to be questioning anyone, any hierarchies, CV or whatever is disgusting.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like I said, every time I hear these reports, we've heard them so many times this season. I don't like training, don't like the manager, we're underwhelmed by Ten Hag, all that kind of stuff. I agree with you, Faz, that everyone, take football out of it, has worked in a job where they hate their boss or they hate their manager. But guess what? You still do your job and you still try and do it to the best of your ability. If I'm working in Shoe Zone, right, and I hate the store manager, I'm still working my ass off sell plimsolls, okay? Because guess what? That's what I'm paid to do. And I guess what? I probably make more money if I do that too, right? Yeah. And because I have some pride in my work. Right, I don't work in Shoe Zone, by the way. But the point is, that's the analogy. If you take it down to a fundamental level, it doesn't matter whether you like your colleagues, whether you like your bosses. Take some pride in yourself. Okay, take some pride in what you do, because you can go home, put your head on the pillow, and said, "Today I worked my ass off, and I earned everything that's getting paid to me." And that's the frustrating thing with me. I'm tired of these excuses of this person doesn't like me. I'm not playing in the right position. Whatever. It's just, when is it going to be, I'm not playing very well, I need to fix that? That never comes up, ever comes up. It's just beyond frustrating. It really is. And I think also, DJ, when it comes to that story about the Rangnick losing 3 coaches, he didn't anticipate that when he came in. That's not really on Ralph, is it not? Is that on the board? And does that just sum up our season of, again, being caught cold? Ollie goes, and then it's like, and all the coaches go, we've got a manager, great. Who's his staff going to be? We don't know.
Exactly. Just lack of preparation all around. And we've been doing that for the last few years. It's always lastminute.com with Manchester United. I think, and kind of looking at kind of what's happening now, we're seeing a lot of the backroom staff leave. This rebuild is coming in, new manager, new head of recruitment, and all this type of stuff that's going to be happening. I'm glad it's getting done now. The season is still in effect, like right now. So by the time, hopefully, everyone is in and everyone's acclimated to Manchester United, the planning for next season and beyond can start quite quickly. I think Ten Hag might even be planning right now as we speak. So I think how things were done before, obviously we brought in these type of people, was really lastminute.com. Like Ralph wanted, I think he begged Carrick, please, like at least you stay, at least you know these players, you know, that's sort of a bridge for Ralph to maybe, you know, get to know the players. But Carrick was like, I'm out myself, man. I don't know if they told you. I handed in my notice the other day. I don't know if they told you that. So he was caught cold, but again, that's not up to Ralph. And I think there were stories of Ralph had highlighted kind of who he wanted to come and take the positions, like his number 2, for example, etc. But those options were unavailable. And again, maybe to the poor planning of Manchester United, timing.
Yeah, and Faz, also, again, if you're going to have an interim manager, it's difficult to bring in interim coaches and interim assistants when they've already got full-time jobs at other clubs, is it not?
Yeah. I was surprised why Carrick just left all of a sudden. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm done. Yeah, see you later." Just it seemed like that. It didn't. It wasn't a good look at all. You know, it's just that shows where the situation and the structure that was going on in the club. It was just a disarray. It would have been perfect. Well, not perfect, but it would have been ideal for Carrick to be there and, like you said, be that bridge between the players and Ralph. But yeah, Carrick going was some of the other staff members cool, but Carrick going was a bit of a shock to me, especially because he did manage 3 games. He did do okay. He was there from before. The players would have, you know, looked up to him to a certain extent. So yeah, it was bad. But look, can't cry over spilled milk, can we?
No, exactly. And it's that Carrick's tiny period is just so wild to look back on, considering the games he had, and he did wow.
Yeah.
He did a good job. And it will be interesting to see what he does in the future. Of course, we've got another game coming up Monday, DJ. Brentford at home, final home game of the season. Any thoughts going into that one? What do you expect the atmosphere to be like at Old Trafford? More of the same after Thursday?
I think the atmosphere might pick up a little bit just because of the news that we've had. But again,
just because it's over.
Yeah, and I think we're waiting with bated breath to see who is actually gonna take the backroom positions. I think the fans are all kind of awaiting that, and I think if, say for example, Paul Mitchell was to get done today, just for example, it wouldn't probably be, but if it did, that's a big boost for the fans to be a bit optimistic. And I think, you know, there needs to be light at the end of the tunnel. And I think there's like a silver sliver of light coming through the tunnel now, is whether we can, you know, build on that. And if they do, I think the fans at Brentford would be up for the game. And I think, you know what, to give us another lift, the introduction of the youth players, kind of what Faz said. I think to see Hannibal get a start, to see Garnacho get a start, to see Fernandez get a start, you know, we need something. We just need something that's going to get us to the end of the season with a bit of optimism and hope. But me personally, I've mentally checked out of Manchester United. I'm sorry. I've mentally checked out. I don't care. We could lose, we could win. I don't really care. And this is the effect of what the players have put me through this season.
It's true. Like watching that game on Thursday, watching any United game at the moment is just tough in general, because you just watch it going, this is just rubbish. And you go in with no expectations and somehow you still get angry, because when you see people walking around, you're like, I knew we were going to be terrible, but come on, at least run around a little bit. But it is tough. It is tough at the moment. I mean, Faz, you were at the game on Thursday. First of all, what was that atmosphere like? And what do you expect it to be like on Monday?
In all honesty, you know, the water's boiled over. It's now on the cooling stage. Everybody's just, you know, just kind of waiting. Everybody's kind of there to see other team players. You know, I was looking forward to seeing the Chelsea squad well oiled up and then looking like the proper team that, you know, they've been playing like. They've had a terrible season themselves in terms of, you know, their structure and XYZ, whatever. But I was looking forward to seeing Lukaku back in Old Trafford and getting a couple of boos. Looking forward to see Rudiger, you know, hoping that he would have come to United, but he's not. So yeah, people just there. And you know what, more than anything, people are there to celebrate Ronaldo, because he's doing Ronaldo things. He gives us those moments to just celebrate a goal and a free kick and things like that. So I think that's what they're there for. a lot of fans, in all honesty, have gone off trying to shout and scream at the players because, like I said, it's gone past boiling point now. We're in the cooling stage. We know Rashford doesn't put an effort in. We know the wing back situation. We know our centre backs get ripped apart, midfield issue, and obviously the list of injuries. Yeah, so me personally, I go just to enjoy the weather, maybe have a KFC before the game. and,
Weather and KFC.
and watch Ronaldo, watch my goat do alien things.
That's tremendous. I mean, what was the atmosphere like there on Monday, Faz? Because from watching it on television, it's felt very, very flat. I mean, at one point during the match view, KG actually called flex. It's one, it was so quiet, that perfect conversation, you could hear him. And two, I guess because no one was like, less people were there, the signal was actually good. Old Trafford as well. Like, what was that atmosphere like?
It was Thursday. You said Monday, just to
Thursday. Sorry, yeah, Thursday. Yeah,
no, it's okay. Yeah, it was a lot of empty seats in terms of obviously I sit literally 3 rows behind Flex. So those are serious season ticket holders and a lot of empty seats. A lot of Chelsea fans dotted about everywhere. Obviously, they're gonna go to support their team, but really, really flat. I mean, it was like people were going just to meet their mates, have a drink, have the famous United pie. Yeah, honestly, it's like halftime. People are not coming back to their seats after halftime. They're just there in the hallway or whatever, talking to their mates, watching the game on the TV. Enjoy the drink, whatever. That's very, very flat. Everybody, I think everybody is just looking forward to next season. It's not like we're looking forward to performances, and everybody looks forward to seeing Ronaldo on the pitch. In all honesty, for Ronaldo to do Ronaldo things, that's really sums it up what people are there for.
Yeah, I mean, usually at the end of the last home game of the season, the team does the whole walk around the pitch, maybe sometimes a speech. What do you think that looks like on Monday? Does that even happen? And what speech can you give?
I think maybe there'll be 1 or 2 players, the likes of maybe Bruno, Ronaldo, Sancho, even Varane, Lindelof. They might, go around and clap for the fans. I think all the other players that have just been totally shit, I think they're going to want to bury their head in the sand. And I think that's going to look really intense because I know the fans are going to have something to say. The fans are going to be.
I think
the fans are going to have something to say. They're going to let them players know exactly what they think. They're going to let them know exactly that they're not welcome back at Old Trafford. And if I was a fan and they started clapping, I'd be like, no, I don't need it. Just go in the dressing room. Bye. See you later. Bye. I'm like, no, I don't need it.
Do you think they could be walking around clapping or whatever? It's just empty.
Yeah, the fans might be like, go away. Like we don't even want this right now. We don't even want this. You're showing more passion and desire by walking around clapping us than you are on a pitch playing football. So get the hell out of here, literally.
It was like it with Rashford after the game on Thursday as well. I think the fastest sprint he did was to go over to Thomas Tuchel at the end to shake his hand. It was unbelievable. You see how quickly he sprinted over to him. All right, Thomas. Everyone's like, where was that first half?
Yeah.
Tellers gave him a look like a side eye as if say, you kidding me? Come on. Faz, what do you think? Do you think they'll do the whole walk around the pitch, the little clap the fans at the end? I mean, I suppose they probably should, but what reaction are they going to get?
Except for De Gea and Ronaldo, if any player comes near me and starts clapping, you're going to hear it. I'm telling you. Maybe Varane, like,
I don't want to program back out, be pointing to the front of it again.
Yeah.
Do with Harry Maguire.
But the players, who you are. If you come anywhere near us clapping and trying to show fake love and this, that, honestly, you need to start talking to your agents and get out of here. You need to think about your career and get out of here. I honestly do not want, as much as they're like people who take the kids and these kids look at these players like idols and it means a lot to them. That aspect of things, I understand. Giving the shirt away to a kid who's supporting the club, I understand. But in terms of us guys, if you're here trying to give us fake love or whatever, honestly, my thing is, if let's say something miraculous happens and we go and do a wow performance. Not gonna happen. I'm just, again, wishful thinking. If it happens, every player gets stuck in. We do some crazy stuff. A couple of the players get a goal.
Not that way, guys.
Not a Ronaldo hat trick. Then it's slightly different, but it's not gonna happen, is it? It's not gonna happen. So except for a couple of Varane, Ronaldo, De Gea, the rest of the players, please don't clap, please. Oh, you're gonna hear it from me.
I think though, Faz, on the flip side of it, there will be if they just walk down the tunnel, there would be. I understand, like if they walk around doing the clap, they're going to get criticism. They deserve to get criticism, and it should be a kind of a case of you get what you deserve, and you've got to be, big enough to take it, right? If you run away from it at the end of the game and just walk down the tunnel, and the season was crap, but we didn't even want to clap the fans who bothered to show up today because they've showed up every single week, regardless of how bad we've been. Like, surely it's. At the very least, they can say thanks.
No, I don't need it. Sorry. Spare me that respect. Spare me that respect. You didn't do it all season,
mate. Do you think the optics of that? Don't you think the optics of that would be terrible if they just?
No, I don't care. I don't care. You're in this position. Well done to you. Stay in this position. You made your bed. Now lie in it. I don't care. I don't need the clap. My season ticket's still, renewed. I'm still gonna be here next season. I don't know about you. So I don't need the clap. It doesn't mean anything to me. I understand what you mean in terms of the respect aspect of things, because we travel week in, week out. Oh my God, you should show us some respect. We travel to come and see you. But to be honest, I don't need the clap from. I don't need love and affection from players. I need them to do their job. I need them to give me something to go back home and think, wow, what's a player? What has he done? I want them to give me something so I can go and argue with Arsenal fans, but they haven't given me anything. So no, I don't want the fake respect and love from them.
Yeah, I think the least they can do. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Owen. I'm sorry to cut you. I know exactly what you're saying. Like, damned if they do, damned if they don't, kind of thing. Because, as you said, if they just walk off, there's going to be maybe hundreds of people like they can't even cut. Spineless, blah blah. Like the least they can do is take their shirts off and give it to the kids. At least go and give it to the kids.
Or just at the very least, you have to walk around the pitch. Yeah, people are going to be shouting all this kind of stuff at you. But guess what? That's the situation you found yourself in. You know what I mean? You used the puppy analogy earlier, right? If the puppy poos on the floor, you don't just go, get away from me. Get away from me. You say, no, you can't do that, okay? You have to sort of tell them why they can't do that and all that kind of stuff. Isn't that the same kind of thing, Faz?
Training a puppy is easier than training these players.
I agree.
I trained my Akita quicker than I could train some of these players, so please.
Please. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. What's on tap for tomorrow? Of course, full view settings tomorrow, back at 7 p.m. Earlier on in the day as well, there's going to be a Manchester United versus Brentford preview with Flex and myself. And then, of course, Monday, it's game day. So full match day experience. So be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You won't miss a single thing. We're out of here. Have a great Saturday. Peace.